Church, would you pray with me for a moment? God, we ask you, crack these readings open for us and bring out a word for each of us separately that each of us needs to hear. Amen. This is my first time preaching in this pulpit. 2 weeks ago, I was preaching almost in this pulpit. I was standing right here because it just didn't feel right to come into the pulpit without other people in the room, without all of you. And I know that not all of you are here because some of you are at home or in other places, and some of you are even worshiping in the future when I'm already in the past. But we are here right now in this room together. We are here for each other. We are here to step into the next thing, to cross a little threshold, even though the threshold that has to do with coming back into the sanctuary was not quite as clear-cut as we thought it might be. When we went online, it was very straightforward. No options. We have to. To decide to come back in the room when things are not precisely as they were is a little bit different. But we are here. We are here, as Molly said, because partly our confirmands decided that they wanted to wait until we could all be here, until at least a group of us could be here in person, to look out at each other, to feel each other's presence in community, to feel our bodies in the room with each other, to not do one more significant thing on Zoom, to not move one more ritual, one more rite of passage, one more weighty moment into that sort of disembodied space, but to wait until today. And here we are. Both of the readings that we had so beautifully read for us this morning, I think, are about finding our place in community. They are about showing up and looking at each other and figuring out who has what gifts for which need and how we can empower each other to take our place. They might be surprising gifts. We might not even know that it's us that is carrying the thing that is needed. Community is complicated, and sometimes we might think, well, I'm the person who always does this one thing. I'm always the person that helps with setup, but I don't read in public. I'm always the person that ushers, that collects up the baskets and counts, but I am not the person who sets the table. I'm a behind-the-scenes person. I don't greet. I'm not up front. I'm not friendly enough for that. It's tempting. It might even be tempting to say, gosh, for everything I can think of in church, there's someone who I can imagine who could do it better. There's someone in the room who could be so good at that maybe I should just hold back and someone else will step up. But I think confirmation, and I think these two readings are a chance to remember that actually we don't have to be the very best at something to step forward and offer. We don't have to be the one person who is perfectly suited for that one role to be able to step into it, even for a moment, even for a day. We don't have to be perfectly confident in our ability to do the thing in order to step forward and do the thing. If we were going to wait until we were absolutely sure that we could do it perfectly, how many of us would do anything? And not only that, but how many of us would ever get to be good at something? if we weren't willing to do it sort of badly a few times? How do we get there without trying it out first? How do we become the person who's excellent at something without first being the person who's not that great at it? I think both of these readings are about that, and I hear that, especially in the Jeremiah reading. Don't say, I am only a child, or I'm only a teenager, or I'm only a mom, or I'm only a lay person. Don't put me up there. I'm only new. I'm only a newbie. I don't know where everything is yet. I'm shy. Surely there's someone else. Instead, when the door cracks open, when the way makes itself known to you, when the need appears, consider whether that need is appearing to you as an invitation to step into it and to try something new, to make all of this happen as a community. In church, as in the rest of our lives, we each have a place, and the place may shift, and the place will reveal itself over time, and the thing you do now might not be the thing you do next. But we each have a place, and this church is only what it is because of what each of us brings to it. Even if today is your very first time, this church is only what it is right now because you are in it. It's constantly changing. And we trust that God is bringing us the people that need to be here for the next moment. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know who's going to come forward next with some gift and say, I have an idea. I have some energy towards this. I noticed that this thing isn't happening and I'd like to make it happen. We don't know. It's exciting. It's also a little bit nerve-wracking as a leader. Who knows? And the reason we don't know is because none of us holds the whole vision ourselves, and none of us has all the gifts that are necessary. God did that on purpose. God did that on purpose. None of us within ourselves has all the gifts necessary to make church happen, to make community happen, to make a good life or a good place happen. None of us has all of it alone because we are meant to be together. So whether today is your confirmation day, or whether you were confirmed many years ago, or whether you've never been confirmed because you are young, or because you are new, or because you just never did, whatever your relationship to confirmation is today, let's take up our place in community. Let's consider that you might be invited into a new thing. You might have a gift that you're not even aware of yet. And your inclination might be to say, wait a second, I'm only a teenager. I'm pretty busy right now. I've never done that before. I'm only new here. What if I don't know how this all works? And consider, as you feel that rising up in you, hearing that itself, your own resistance, as an invitation to instead take a step forward. And to say, maybe I'll try. Let's take up that place today. Let's be confirmed and reconfirmed into this family of faith. Let's do what each of us can do to make this collective thing together. Let's be part of a we, which is our commitment to each other. Let's make church. Amen.